let's break down this Cowboys Vikings games. And there's this is from our friends over at Sharp. The football, they do a great job with the numbers and things like that. I love reading their stuff. I think they're very entertaining. They break it down for guys like me that kind of struggle.
The leader over there, Warren Sharp, he's got some personality.
He does.
He just doesn't nerd on you.
No.
He gives you takes.
See, the DVOA, I mean, all those the acronyms and things like that. I don't understand. Just tell me, like, they do a great job of making sense of, like, okay, the numbers tell you this is a problem. Or
it's consumer ready. It's like normal sports fan ready. You don't have to have a background in analytics to understand it.
Right, and you're dead balls on right about that. All right, let me give you a little hopium here if you're a Cowboy fan. Opponents have converted 72% of the time. That's 18 of 25 of their red zone drives for touchdowns against the Vikings this year. That's the second highest rate in the league.
Yeah, I think we're going to find a lot of stuff in these numbers that we're going to like about this Minnesota matchup.
Yeah.
They're getting it done. You can say they're clutch or they buckle down in the fourth quarter or whatever, but I think a lot of these stats are going to speak to a Cowboys advantage because you mentioned the DVOA there, Brian.
Right.
There's a massive gap in between the Cowboys and Vikings.
Yeah.
And that's why Vegas likes the Cowboys still.
It was funny that you said that because I was trying to, as I was going through this, I was like going, well, the tape tells me this, but the numbers actually tell you really a whole nother story. I mean, the thing with what you were talking about, and the Vikings and the like the problems that they have, like you say, in the red zone and stuff like that, they don't particularly defend tight ends very well too. And what is one of the strengths with the Cowboys that we've seen? It's with Schultz and Peyton Hendershot and Ferguson, what they've been able to do. The Vikings are allowing this almost 73% catch rate, which is 25th in the league, 8.2 yards per target, which is 25th in the league, and a 7.3% touchdown rate, which is 23rd in the league to opposing tight ends. Ooh. So, you're starting to think, okay, well, how do the Cowboys attack? How do they what's something that they can maybe hang their hat on then, and throwing to these tight ends has never been a bad thing. That's the simple thing when, with Dak, we're saying, okay, well, what about these option routes? It seems like every turnover has been something of a throw that's gone into the middle of the field. It's been a wide receiver kind of a driven thing. But the Vikings, they don't do a very good job of defending tight ends. So something also to keep your –
Big day for Schultz coming.
Big day for
12-catch day.
Be nice.
Yeah. One for Ferguson and Hendershot combined.
Yep. And you figure they would try and take advantage of something like this.
I would think so.
They would try. I mean, much like the Packers said, my guys at the Packers last week, we're just not really we're not going to run the ball, I don't think. And then afterwards, that Monday they're like, listen, you knew what was going on. I'm like, how could you not watch the film and see that? I don't get what you guys are doing up there.
But not only that, Brian, I mean, I feel like they have to take advantage of that because as we were talking with Bobby Belt about it, those three tight ends might be your second, third, and fourth best receivers right now until Michael Gallup can start to get his confidence back.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they need to do. The thing with Gallup, you're right about the confidence. There is clearly a lack of that going on. Okay, here we go on some Minnesota stuff, though. Other things we need to kind of know. Minnesota is the last remaining team that's undefeated at home. Tough place to play up there. The Cowboys have allowed over 200 yards rushing in back-to-back games for just the 9th time in their franchise's history. Wow. That's not good. I mean, I was a part of some teams in the early 2000s where, like, Charlie Gardner and guys like that lit us up, like, I think 3 straight times.
That's the thing that could throw all these numbers out is if Minnesota shows up with the Green Bay game plan.
Yeah.
We're going to run it twice for every pass that we throw.
Yeah.
And if it could convince Aaron Rodgers that that's a winning formula, I don't think it's going to be any problem for Minnesota to look at the film and try that as well. So hopefully these trends hold. It definitely threw a monkey wrench in the plans and was a huge edge for Green Bay.
It was. Cowboys have allowed 447 rushing yards over the last 2 games after allowing only 433 yards over their previous 4 games.
Wow.
So do you think we talked about last year Denver and the plan that they had that messed up your offense.
Yep.
Chicago wasn't the plan, was it? Because that's a running quarterback, right? I mean, you can't go back and say, oh, well, this team all of a sudden got bad playing against the run when they were playing against the Chicago Bears.
No, they've been bad against the run all season. The Bears really, really showed that because of Justin Fields and the element of him using his legs in a way that most teams can't do because they don't have quarterbacks like that.
Sure.
So I don't know that was necessarily but it might have been the most eye-opening, like, wow, we can take advantage of this. Of course, we can't run with our quarterback if we're Green Bay or even Minnesota, but we can definitely run on these guys with all of our backs.
Yeah.
Specifically, I think it was just attacking an edge.
Yeah.
And no matter how you do it with your scheme, you started noticing that like 5 weeks ago, Brian, and the NFL is now studying it on the level that you are every week. It's time for a Cowboys game, and they're seeing the same things that you were seeing early in the year.
I think that you go back all the way to that Tampa game, and like I said earlier, you've played two Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and neither of them had to win the game. Tom Brady didn't have to win the game, and Aaron Rodgers didn't have to win the game. I mean, Rodgers played clearly better than Brady, but, this is what's alarming to me. Dallas is allowing 1.6 yards of prior to contact. So they're not even getting bodies to the ball. Like, ball carriers are like 1.6 yards up the field before there's even a Cowboy defender making a play.
Jeez.
Yeah, we're through the hole.
Yeah, we're to the hole, through the hole, and then
so you're getting to the second level of your defense.
Your D-line is not good.
Yeah, that's big of an issue. The Vikings, on the other hand, they've had 10 plays of 20 or more yards the past 2 weeks. It's tied for third in the league right now, but they had only 19 total plays of that between weeks 1 and 8. So they went from ranked 30th the first 8 weeks of the season to the last 2 weeks. Also now they're third in those plays.
The T.J. Hawkinson effect.
Absolutely. That was the biggest weakness of their offense. They didn't have anybody to work the middle of the field, and now that's opened everything up for Adam Thielen. Justin Jefferson was always going to get his.
Yeah.
But now that's freed him up even more. T.J. Hawkinson, they didn't have a tight end. They were hoping Irv Smith Jr. would step up. He didn't, and he was banged up. And now Hawkinson's been fantastic.
Yeah, let me give you one final little thought here, too. The Cowboys, we all know that they can bank on the pressure, right? You can Cowboys, the one thing is they can rush the quarterback.
Unless it's 4th and 7 with the game on the line in Lambeau. Yeah. Otherwise, yes, absolutely.
Why is it always Lambeau?
Well, Justin Jefferson has been the primary target for the Vikings when they're pressured. Jefferson has over 37% of the team's targets when his quarterback is under pressure. That's second among all wide receivers. He's been targeted on 26% of his routes when Cousins has been pressured, which is 4th among all wideouts. So to me, the plan's pretty simple. If you get them in a down and distance where they're having to throw the football, bracket Jefferson. I mean, just don't even let him, because that's where he's going to go. Make these other guys, make Thielen and these other receivers have to beat you in this football game. They did a really good job with him last year. Some of his lowest numbers he's had. In his short NFL career, I'm talking about Jefferson, was that game that was played last year. So if you're the Cowboys and you get them in obvious passing situations, all your attention, I think, needs to be put on Jefferson in this football game, because it's shown if you're going to bring pressure, that quarterback is going to throw him the football whether you like it or not.
I will say the difference between this year and last year is I don't even know who was calling plays for Minnesota last year, but now it's Kevin O'Connell, a guy who's going to hunt the matchup.
I think it was Kubiak.
Kubiak.
And he moves Justin Jefferson around,
Yeah.
so you're not just going to get the Diggs on Jefferson matchup. He'll place him on Bland's and on Joseph or on Brown if he's back in this game.
Yeah, O'Connell's done a nice job. Thank you guys for your time there.